Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us. This morning, shortly before 11 o'clock, an active duty soldier assigned to Fort Stewart, Georgia, shot and wounded 5 of his fellow soldiers here on Fort Stewart. Thankfully, all are in stable condition and all are expected to recover. The alleged shooter is in custody. We have reestablished security. I have lifted all lockdown measures on Fort Stewart, and there is currently no threat to the local community. I'd like to recognize and thank our Army law enforcement and medical personnel and our partners from local, state, and federal law enforcement and emergency services for their quick response and support. I would also like to thank the brave soldiers who immediately intervened and subdued the shooter. These soldiers, without a doubt, prevented further casualties. Our wounded soldiers were initially evacuated to Wynn Army Community Hospital right here on Fort Stewart. All arrived in stable condition, and 3 of the 5 required surgical intervention. 2 have been transported to Memorial Hospital in Savannah, Georgia for additional care. We have identified the alleged shooter as Sergeant Cornelius Radford, an automated logistics sergeant assigned to 2nd Brigade Combat Team. Sergeant Radford has not previously deployed to combat. Sergeant Radford has been interviewed by the Army Criminal Investigation Division and is currently in pretrial confinement, awaiting a charging decision by the Office of the Special Trial Counsel. Right now, our primary focus is first on caring for our injured soldiers and their families, and also supporting the soldiers of the Spartan Brigade. All of the families of the victims have been notified, and we're wrapping our arms around them and ensuring we provide them all the support that we can. Before I take questions, I want to remind you that this is an ongoing investigation and we're still gathering questions. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll now take your questions.
General Lewis Levine, Coastal News, can you give us his what unit he was assigned to and how long he served in the Army, if you didn't mention it?
Yeah, he is assigned to one of our sustainment units here in 2nd Brigade Combat Team at Fort Stewart, and I will have to confirm how long he served with us. Yes, sir.
Russ Bynum with the Associated Press. As best you can, knowing it's so early, can you walk us through where this happened, what happened in the shooting, and were the victims subordinates of the sergeants, or were they people over him in rank?
Yeah, right now it's premature, and we're gathering a lot of the information. What we know is this soldier, the shooting occurred at the soldier's place of work. It did involve his co-workers. We're still not certain about the motivations, but again, he's been interviewed by Army investigators, and we believe we'll gain more information here shortly. Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if this was any kind of training exercise, or were they cleaning any weapons, anything that you know so far?
No, ma'am. We don't have any reason to believe it had anything to do with a training event. Other than that, I can't state the motivations for this soldier.
We've heard that the shooter may have been from Jacksonville, Florida. Are you able to confirm that? We also heard that he had maybe been arrested for a DUI recently.
Yeah, at this point, I can't confirm where he's from. We can follow up on that. I do believe he was arrested locally for a DUI that was unknown to his chain of command until the event occurred, and we started looking into the law enforcement databases.
Robin, now from the current, can you tell us whether or not that was a military weapon, or whether this was a personal weapon that the person brought on base?
Yes, ma'am. I can confirm it was not a military weapon, and we believe it was a personal handgun.
Just a short
Yes, sir.
from Savannah Morning News. What does this mean for ongoing security measures that this situation was able to occur with a personal weapon?
Yeah, I'm very confident in the security of this installation. We've got a great partnership with local law enforcement. As you can see here at our gates, we have armed guards in protective equipment. This one's a bit difficult, and we're going to have to determine how he was able to get a handgun to his place of duty.
Alicia White News for Jags. Has the suspect had any prior disciplinary or behavioral issues on base?
No, ma'am, not that we're aware of. But again, it's early in the investigation, but not that I'm currently aware of.
I know that WJCL Space News. You mentioned that some soldiers helped subdue him. Do you know if his arrest ultimately did he surrender peacefully, or what did his arrest involve?
I don't have the details on that, but I know that his soldiers in the area that witnessed the shooting immediately and without hesitation tackled tackled the soldier, subdued him, that allowed law enforcement to then take him into custody.
And we've got time for one more question.
I know that you can't speak to the motivation, but if this turns out to be some situation where somebody had extremist beliefs or maybe classified as a terrorist attack, I mean, how does that change the base's response or the base's investigation moving forward?
Yeah, currently we have no reason to believe any of that is the case. However, we continuously assess the threat environment, both in the immediate area and across our Army and DoD installations, and we will address the threat level accordingly.
We have the rank of the shooter?
Yes, sir. He was a sergeant.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your questions. And again, thanks to the local responders and the local community for their help. Thanks and have a great afternoon.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we've been listening to an update there from Army officials at Fort Stewart in Georgia. That's about 40 miles outside of Savannah, Georgia. And they're giving an update after a U.S. Army sergeant is accused of shooting 5 of his fellow soldiers earlier this morning, around 11 o'clock this morning. The news that we're hearing there is that all 5 of those soldiers are in stable condition. All are expected to survive. But this created a major issue, safety issue there at that Army base. Lockdowns were implemented. Those lockdowns have since been lifted. And we're hearing there that soldiers intervened and helped subdue this sergeant. The name that they gave there was Sergeant Cornelius Radford, who was assigned to that base. And we also learned right there that officials are saying that this was not a military weapon that was used in this shooting, but a personal handgun. Obviously, they're going to look into how that gun was able to be taken on to the base and his workplace there. Anna Schecter joins us now. She is the senior coordinating producer for CBS News' Crime and Public Safety Unit. Anna, what was your biggest takeaway in that press conference?
Well, that the suspect knew the victims, that this was carried out in his place of work, and that he was able to have a personal handgun on him at the Army base, which I think is interesting, and I think will kick off a lot of questions about protocol and safety. Unclear if he had permission to have that personal handgun on him, to bring that personal handgun to his place of work. It sounded like he was in a sustainment unit, so he was not, one of those elite Spartan units members that were the victims, but was in a sustainment unit, possibly, in a more supportive role. So we'll learn a little bit more about that. But all of that really jumped out at me. Also, great news to hear that all 5 are expected to survive. We also learned that 3 of the 5 needed to go into surgery. One of those had surgery there at the hospital on base, and the 2 others after an initial care at that base hospital had to be transferred to that trauma center. So hopefully we'll hear some good news on that front.
And Anna, we heard there from the official calling this really the soldiers' co-workers. How does that change the tenor of this investigation when it is perhaps a workplace shooting that happens to be on an Army base versus something that perhaps has a more political motivation behind it?
It's a great question. And so it kind of narrows the investigative lane to right there on the base. How did he know these people? What was going on at work? And then what was going on with him personally? Were there red flags in terms of mental health? Were there red flags in terms of some kind of grievance? The only criminal history or sort of legal history with the law that he had was a DUI, which the base was not aware of until they started looking into it.
Is that something that they would typically be informed about?
Yes, that's actually a pretty big deal for an Army sergeant to have that. They would generally be aware of that. You're disciplined for that, certainly. The standards are extremely high for all of these soldiers, particularly a sergeant working with this elite unit.
Yeah, they talked about how they've already interviewed him at this point. I know that the investigation still is in its early stages, but what really comes next?
Well, right now, we learned that he is being held in a pre-trial confinement office, and there's a military judicial system that he is now a part of. So this is separate from, like a county prosecutor. This is all going to be contained on the base, but all of this is going to be carried out within the base under the military protocol, and that is a little bit different. You have a military prosecutor who will likely bring charges, but this all is going to get kicked into motion, and it's a unique system that he is now going to be contained in. So rather than having like a wide investigation, we are really zeroed in on this particular base, and the judicial system will also be carried out right here.
And the situation really could have been so much worse when you hear that all 5 soldiers are in stable condition and that they're expected to really make it through this. It's just remarkable.
100%, and soldiers intervened. In fact, they made a point to say that this could have been worse had soldiers not stepped in and apprehended him.
All right, Anna Schecter, thank you very much. We really appreciate your insight in this.